There's no give and take in conversation. He's not very empathic and so on. And we'll just subsume all that under the canopy of lack of emotional reciprocity. So there's one thing, I mean, there's numerous things that could be done with that. But one of the main things might be for the guys to do a check-in with their wife. And this is purely voluntary. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, of course. I certainly would recommend it. You guys don't like talking about feelings. I'm not faulting you. Why would you, given the way that you're wired? But she would appreciate some conversations about emotions or feelings every once in a while. So this is not a magic bullet. It's just kind of a beginning in the effort to connect with her, because she's always wanted you to be a team player. And so she probably perceives that you're a solitary player. And she signed up in the form of marriage because she thought she was joining a team. Perhaps you were so busy with your special interest over here, and then she's left over here somewhere. And at some level, she feels like she's been sitting on the bench all this time. So one simple thing you could do, and we can entertain this discussion further if you want, would be to once a day, this is kind of an assignment for the guys, perhaps, once a day, if you would just check in with her, and I specifically want you to use the term feelings, because I want you to be practicing this business of developing an emotions vocabulary. And as boring as this may be to some of you, because I know that this is not your cup of tea, it would be great if you would check in with her and simply ask her, I just wanted to do the check-in thing that we talked about in the group, and I just wanted to know, how you're feeling. Assuming that things haven't gone astray and it's just an average day, she might say, "Oh, I don't know, I feel pretty good," or whatever, or I'm a little disappointed because of this, or I'm feeling a little nervous about such and such. So I know that you guys may be thinking, "Oh, I'm almost afraid to ask that question because what if she's upset with me?" I've just opened up that can of worms, because I did this check-in like you were saying, Mark, but then she goes, "Oh, well, actually, I'm not okay, and here's why," and then it turned into a fight. But the reason that the emotional check-in is important for you guys is because there may be something brewing, and she may not want to let you know what it is right now, for whatever reason, or maybe she just is not even really thinking about it. So if you could do frequent emotional check-ins, I'm talking with frequency, I just mean once a day, then she may be able to talk to you about something that's bothering her while the problem is small. So this emotional check-ins business is really an attempt at prevention, because too often you guys are stuck with intervention. In other words, that bullet has already left the gun, and there's a big mess, and she's mad as a hornet, and now you got to deal with this problem that a few days ago perhaps was this big. Now it's almost an insurmountable obstacle for you. So you're doing yourself a big favor with this frequent emotional check-in business, because you're lessening the risk that she's harboring something that's growing. And so you can catch it when it's small. So don't be afraid to say, "Honey, I just wanted to I haven't checked in with you today to see how you're doing." Don't be afraid to open that door, because even if there is a problem and it has something to do with you, hopefully, and I'm guessing that more often than not, it will be the case that you'll be discussing the situation while the problem is small, rather than something that's she's been brewing for the last 3 or 4 days or 3 or 4 weeks. And so you are kind of taking initiative in that regard, because you want to display some emotional reciprocity and asking her, "Just wanted to check with you, honey, see how you're feeling." And B, you're lessening the likelihood that something is going unaddressed and it's growing without you even knowing that it's growing. Makes sense? So that is for those who are going to want to go the full meal deal here and try to make things right. That's the assignment for guys. This would also be a great time, I'm going to use Rob as the example, to check in with Katsina when you notice that something seems a bit awry. I don't know, Rob, if you can kind of tell when Katsina is on edge or a little flustered or something, can you? Do you ever know by her facial cues or body language that she's a little off kilter?
Sometimes, yeah.
So in
Sometimes I
those
can catch it,
cases,
sometimes I can't.
yeah, okay. But in those times that you do notice that something is bothering her, but you're not sure exactly what, and maybe in times past you didn't want to know what, and you were just hoping the thing would blow over and you didn't even want to bring it up. So this emotional check-in would be especially helpful in those moments where you notice that she, and by the way, ladies, it works the other way around too. You can certainly check in with him as well. So this is a two-way street. But I'm just using Rob and Katsina as the example. So if Rob knew that that Katsina was a little distraught or something, then that would be the perfect time to do the check-in, and you could, and this will help you to avoid assuming why she might be a little off kilter. Perhaps you maybe have thought, oh, I think she's upset, and it probably has something to do with me. I don't know if you've ever done that before, but I know it happens. And so, in that case, that would be the perfect time to say, Katsina, you seem a little distressed or something. I can't quite put my finger on it. Are you okay? And then then she can fill you in on what's going on with her. It may have nothing to do with you. And when she is filling you in on her emotional state, she's not necessarily asking for advice or feedback. She's probably not asking for sympathy. She may not be asking you to change your behavior. She's probably not trying to make you feel guilty. She's probably not suggesting that you've done something wrong. And she may not even be asking you to take any action based on how she feels. So a lot of times, and I'm not accusing the guys in here of doing this, but it happens when she expresses some of her feelings that she's not happy with, or there's something not going right in her life, then the guy wants to try to fix it and offer feedback and advice. In many cases, she's not asking. If she wants advice or feedback or you to fix it, she'll say so. But sometimes it's good just to let her share her feelings and not offer any advice or feedback or try to take any course of action. So when you're checking in with her, most often she's purely stating the fact of her current emotional state in order for you not to misinterpret her behavior in the event that you've approached her first because she seemed a little distressed about something. And also, guys, it would be okay for you to initiate this emotional state check-in for your emotions. You could say, let's say that you're disheveled about something or upset about something, something's bothering you. It's perfectly okay. And I know all this is foreign talk to you, but I want you guys to start getting a little more comfortable with checking in with one another with respect to one another's emotions. So, guys, if you're a little distraught over something, it would be perfectly appropriate for you to say to her, can I update you on my emotional state? And of course, she's going to say, yeah. You can tell her what's going on with you, whether it has anything to do with her or not. Just so the whole business of this emotional state check-in, guys, and I've said it before, but I want to repeat why we're even doing this. It's good for you guys to be checking in with one another. I want to use the example of two fighter pilots that have a target and they know their coordinates and they have to work in tandem. Those two fighter pilots are checking in with one another all the time. They're radioing back and forth all the time because they have to stay parallel, and at some point they're going to split and they've got to coordinate their stuff, right? So this emotional state check-in is not too much different than that. You guys have to live together, and you want to keep tabs on how each other is doing in preparation for some impending brewing argument. So that's really the big goal behind this emotional check-in, is so that you will know where you stand with the other person and they will know where they stand with you. Hey, this is Mark Hutten. Would you like to schedule a one-on-one Zoom call? Okay, it's so simple. Just look under any of my videos in the description area. Click on this Calendly link. Now you see my calendar. Pick your month, your day, anytime that's available. Enter your name and email address. Then you'll get a follow-up email with the Zoom link on the day and time that you picked. And voila, we will talk.